Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we will be talking about the MVC architecture which is used in Java. We also call it as MVC design pattern because this design pattern specifies that an application consists of three different parameters or three different components. So talking about those three different components, the MVC design pattern has a data model, a presentation or information model, and a controller or a control information model. Now the pattern requires that each of this is separated into three different objects. MVC, if you consider, this is more like an architectural pattern. So if we are consider, it is not a program, not a data structure, or not a package which is used in Java, but it is basically an architectural pattern, and we do not use it for the entire or the complete application. It mostly relates to the UI or user interface or the interaction layer of the application. So suppose let us take a very simple example of a website. So if we have a website, so this website will have three different components. The first component is the user interface. Okay, so the first component is the user interface. That means the look and feel through which the user can access the website. Secondly, it will have a code which is running in the backend, okay, in order to process the request of the user. And finally, this backend code will be retrieving information from a storehouse or from a storage or a data store. So let us consider this as the data store, and this basically is the data model. So we have the view, which is basically the user interface. Then we have the controller, which is the backend code, and the model, which is basically the data store. So this we are considering just a simple example for the MVC design pattern or the model view controller design pattern. Now talking about let me give you another example. Suppose we have a TV in our house. Okay, so this is the TV. So if, or the television. So if in the television we want to view certain channel, so what do? The user will have a remote through which he will change the channel. Let's say we want to check out the BBC channel. So the request is processed and the request is sent to the television in order to play the BBC channel. Now the user interface is basically the screen of the television where the different channels are displayed. Now this user interface is not capable of running any backend code or processing the request. It simply forwards the request to the controller. Okay, so this controller is basically the collection of hardware and software or integrated circuits which are present inside the television. So this is the controller. So if you open up the television, you will see different integrated circuits who are working together in order to process the request. Okay, and this integrated circuits will be forwarding the request to the channel receiver or the antenna, which is basically capable of giving you or sending the or changing the different information which is received at different frequencies. So whenever the request goes that we want to check out the BBC channel, the controller will say, okay, let me handle the request, and the controller will forward the request to the antenna saying that I want to user wants to check out the BBC channel. Accordingly, the antenna will change the frequency and provide the BBC channel to the controller, and the controller will revert back to the user with the changed channel. And what we can see here is the BBC channel. So here this antenna will be behaving as the model, which will basically be providing different information or different data based on the controller's request, and the controller will be working in context to the view, which is basically the presentation model and is presented to the user, right? So the view and the model, they do not directly interact with each other, but they interact via the controller. So this we have to understand. So this also happens in the application, just like in the previous example we saw, where we had a website, and the website, initially the user will be sending requests to the website, and the website will be forwarding the request to the backend code, and the backend code will be retrieving the data and would be sending back to the user through the same process. Now if we look into the UML diagram of this MVC design pattern, so if we are considering UML, which is the unified modeling language, this you will do properly in your higher semester, but as of now let us understand that it is just an overall graphical representation of the working of a particular application. So if we are considering this three component, let us say model, then we have view, and then we have controller. Okay, so model, view and controller. So when we have this three components, let us say these three are there, and there is a user. Let us represent this user with a stick man. So user will be using, so user will basically be using the controller, and the controller would be then forwarding the request to the model. So this entire process let us consider as manipulating or manipulates, and then the model, it will update the view, updates the view which the user is able to see. Okay, this might look little confusing because like in my previous example, we saw that the user is actually interacting with the view. Yes, of course the user is basically interacting with the view, but the actual processing is carried out by the controller. Hence this UML diagram is represented that it will use the user will use the controller, which will be updating the view, and this view would be seen by the user. Okay, now this controller and view, they work in accordance with each other. Similarly, model and controller, they work with each other, and model and view basically they work via the controller. So this particular representation can also be represented in a way where the user will first send a request to view. Okay, through view will be then sending it across the controller. The controller will then be sending the request to the model will be updating the controller will be updating the view, and this will update view, and this view would be seen by the user. So this basically is the correct representation of any of this particular UML diagram. So we will rub off this particular arrows, and we will simply represent it in this particular format. Okay, the previous representation was a simple representation where all the three models are definitely connected, and we saw how they work with each other, or how they basically what is their responsibility. But the control flow, so this is basically the control flow, UML control flow of the MVC design pattern. Okay, so this is the control flow of the design pattern. So user will be sending a request through view to the controller, and the controller would be requesting the model will be sending receiving the request and process the request for the controller and update the controller for the same, and the controller will then update the view, and finally the view would be seen by the user. Okay, so this is the UML control flow. However, the UML diagram was what we saw just a few minutes back. It was just a simple interaction in a circular manner with the model, view and controller, and how the user is connected with them. Okay, now talking about, let us analyze each of the components in details. Okay, so when we are talking about model, now model, if we are considering the model, so model is purely application data. So if we are considering model, it is purely application data. That means whatever data we want to use in the program or whatever data we want to access, this is provided by model. The view is again the presentation information. That means it presents the model's data, presents the model's data to the user, model's data to the user. And the view also knows how to access the model's data, but it does not know what this data means or what that user can do to manipulate it. Okay, so the back-end things are not there within view. It, however, it knows how to access the model's data. Otherwise, it's no point having simply the design layout there. And secondly, and thirdly, we have controller. So controller is like the backbone. It exists between, the first point is that it exists between the view and model. Okay, view and model. It does not know, view and model are not directly connected to each other. It listens to events triggered by the view or other external sources and executes appropriate action to these events. In most cases, the reaction to a call method on the model. Now, since the view and model are connected through a notification mechanism, the result of action is then automatically reflected in the view. Okay. Now, before we go into the technicalities of the MVC architecture, we have to understand certain concepts. We explain that it is a design pattern. So design pattern in software engineering basically is a technique to solve commonly occurring problem when designing a software. And designing model specifies what type of architecture we use to solve the problem or design the model. So this generally we have this design pattern and design model whenever we are going for any type of web development field or any type of web development applications. Now, one more thing that we have to remember, it is just a basic idea about this. MVC was initially included in two major web frameworks. One is known as Struts technology and the other is known as the Ruby on Rails. Ruby on Rails. So these are the two web development frameworks where MVC architecture was initially incorporated. Okay, and since we have already talked about the designing model, okay, so designing model basically it has two different types of architectures or two different types of models. Okay, in the second model basically we call it as the MVC architecture. We will talk about this architecture again in detail, though we have already seen this part, but we have to understand how things work, okay, using a program. So next there are several other concepts also related to the MVC architecture. Now model layer, it is also known as the business layer. Okay, it is also known as the business layer of the application. View, as already mentioned, it is the presentation layer of the application, and controller, it is actually the control flow or the flow of operation in the architecture. Okay, so as already mentioned, the if we have a browser, the browser will send request through the view layer to the controller layer, and the controller layer would be gathering up information and updates from the model layer, and the model layer will then update the controller layer will update the view layer, and the view layer will be checked by the user through the browser. Okay, now talking about the advantages of MVC architecture. Okay, so we will first analyze the advantages. So what are the advantages? The first one is that multiple developers can work. Developers can work with three layers. Work with the three layers. Okay, model, view and controller simultaneously. So there is no as such component that we have to wait for the controller until it is free, or we have to wait for the view until it is free. So different users or different developers can work simultaneously with each other. The next important point is it is highly scalable in nature. Okay, because it supplements the ability of the application to grow. Okay, then it has very low cohesiveness. Sorry, it has very low coupling and high cohesiveness. When we are talking about coupling, it is basically the dependency of one module on each other. So since there is very low dependency on each other, they are easier to maintain, and it is highly cohesive in nature. That means it has independent operational capabilities which are not dependent on each other. The next important point is that a model can be reused by multiple views, which provides reusability of the code. So we have to understand that it is highly reusable in nature. And easier, the fifth advantage is it is easier to understand. Because easier to understand and debug, because we actually can find out where is our data located and how we can, if there is any error, we simply have to go to that block of code which is handling the control part, or that block of code which is handling the presentation or the model, right? So we do not have to scan the entire code, but simply go to that particular module which is handling each of the respective components, and easier to understand. And the sixth one, as already mentioned, it is the testing and extending is easier. Extending is easier because if we want to include anything in the presentation layer or presentation component, we can simply add it in that particular module or that particular layer. Okay, so it is one of the most popular design patterns in web programming world, and basically this is used extensively when it comes to web application development or web frameworks, because there we have three different components. As already mentioned, we have a UI which needs upgradation from time to time, right? And we also have UI, and we also have the backend code which is there. So we have a code which is the controller, through which we can send and receive the request as well as process the request, and then we also have a data store from where we can retrieve the information. So basically the web development frameworks, they are highly utilized when we are talking about the MVC architecture or MVC design pattern. Now let us look into this program in the next part, where we will be considering a program based on the MVC design pattern. Now let us consider three different layers. Okay, so we have a model layer. So we have the first one as the model layer, then we have the view layer, or let's say in between we have the controller. So let's say controller is here, and let's say the last layer is the view layer. So in under this, let us have a subject class And under controller, let us have a subject controller class. And under view layer, let us have a subject view class. Okay, so these three classes are under each of these three layers. Now what we will be doing is we will be exploring the layers one by one. Now let us consider the first layer, which is the model layer. And this model layer will be defining the business logic of the system and will also represent the state of the application. So this model basically the model objects retrieve and store the state of the model in a database. So we will be storing whatever we will be getting or retrieving the information about the objects in a particular database. And through this layer, we also will be applying various rules to the data, which eventually will represent the concepts in our application. Now first, let us consider the first subject. Okay, first one, what is it? It is the subject class. So let us write it down as public class subject, and here what we will be doing, we will be using three strings. Okay, string. So we will write here as subject name, then let us write here as private string subject ID, then we have private string, then let's say course category. Now in this particular model layer, what we will be doing, we will be writing down the getter and setter components. Okay, get and set components, or the getter and setter components. So which will basically be retrieving the IDs, retrieving the name, as well as also retrieving the category. So here let me give you public string, let us keep it as get ID, and then this will be returning the, let's say, subject ID. Okay, so this will close it here. So next we'll have public void set ID, and this is basically the string ID which will be considered, and here we will simply use whatever we will just be retrieving, and this is the subject ID is equal to ID. So whatever is retrieved here, it will be captured by subject ID. Okay, so we'll close it here. The next one is, let's say, public string get name. So this will be returning the subject name, and we will close it. Similarly, if we are setting this, so public void set name. Okay, yes, we'll use the same thing, set name. So string name, and here again we will make use of the this keyword, this dot subject name is equal to name. And finally, for the category, we will use finally for the subject name, we will use category name, we will use public string get category, and here we will be returning the subject category. And if we are considering the setter for this, so we will use public void set category, and then we will use string category, and here let's say this dot subject category is equal to category. So this way we will be simply using this particular layer, which is the model layer, and it will retrieve and store the state of the model in a particular database. Okay, so this is it just consists of the getter and setter methods on the subject or on the different values that we will be passing. Next we will be talking about the view layer. So when we are considering the view layer, so what was the view layer here? When we consider the view layer, it has a subject view class. Okay, so let us design the subject view class now here. So we will have public class subject view, and within this let us write down the method responsible for view. That means public void, let's say, display details. Okay, display details is the method which will be updating the view or the user interface. Okay, and so here what it will have, so it will have basically the different parameters which we will be passing from this particular which we will be getting from the main method. Okay, so so let us write it down. String subject name. Okay, subject name would be there, then string course ID, or not course ID, it is the subject ID. Okay, subject ID, and then we will have string and then subject category. Subject category. So here now what we will do, we will simply use system.out.println, and then we will have name. Okay, name, which is plus subject name, which we have it as here. Okay, so this will be updating the subject name. Okay, then again system.out.println, we will have a subject, let's say ID, let's say subject ID, and this will again have subject ID, and then again system.out.println, we will have subject category. Subject category. So here now we will be using subject category. So this is what the view layer is made up of. As already mentioned, this layer of the MVC design pattern will represent the output of the application or the user interface. So user will be able to see all of this, and it will be displaying the data which is fetched from the model layer by the controller, and will be presenting the data to the user whenever asked for. So whatever we have got as input and we have set as output, or we have used in the setter category, setter methods in the model layer, that means these methods. Okay, so we will basically be displaying them to the user after retrieving it in this particular layer using the view concept or using the view layer, and it will receive all the information it needs from the controller, and it does not need to interact with the business layer directly. So though it is getting information from the model layer, we do not have to depend or interact with the model layer directly. Instead, we will be interacting with the controller for information related to all of this. Now let us look at the controller. So if we are considering the controller, so let us consider the control layer or the controller. So whenever we are considering this controller, it is like an interface, as already mentioned, between the model and view, and it will receive the user requests from the view layer and process them, which includes the necessary validations as well. The requests are then sent to the model for data processing, and once they are processed, the data is again sent back to the controller, which is displayed on the view. So if we are considering the controller, so public class, let us keep it as subject controller, and here we will be having private subject model, and we will also be having private subject view model. Okay, so now what we will be doing is, let us create a constructor here. So public subject controller, it is the same name as that of the class, and here we will be having subject model and subject view model. Again here we will be using the this keyword. So this dot model is equal to model, and then this dot view. So we will be incorporating whatever we have passed as a model and view in this particular constructor. So next we will be considering all the getter and the setter methods here as well, because this will actually be converting, taking in the values, and then it will be forwarding it to the model. Okay, so we will once again write down, sorry, yes, we will once again write down the method. I will just write one of them so that the rest of them we can write it on our own. So set, let's say, subject name. So we have sub subject name, and then we will return, what do we return here? So set subject name, so we will be not returning, so since we have a void return type here, so we will be simply sending it to the model through the model object, which is set name, and also we will pass the parameter as name here. Okay, because we have considered a parameterized constructor, so we will be passing the parameters name as well here. Okay, then let's say we have now also the getter method for this. So public string get subject name, and here what we will be doing, we will return the model dot get name. Okay, now likewise we have to go on go up to category. All right, to for the model, that we will be getting the id, setting the id, getting the category, setting the category. So all of them we have to mention it in this part. And finally, let us call a method which will be updating the view. That means which will be passing the values to the view. Okay, so we will use public void, let's say display view, not display view, let's say we will use another method here, which is just update UI. Okay, so when we are using this particular method, so here we will be calling the view layer or the view method, view layer or the view class, saying that, let's say, what was there in my view, which method did I use? This was display details, so I will call this method here. So this one would be view dot display details. View dot display details. Okay, and what will I try to do here? I will try to I will be simply using the values here, which I am getting from the model. Okay, so here we have model dot get name, again model dot get ID, and then model dot get category, model dot get category. So these are the things that I will be calling whenever I will be sending to the view layer whenever I will call the update UI method. Now finally, we will understand, if we look into this program that we have just written, this particular controller, it will tell us that the controller class is just responsible for calling the model to get and set the data and updating the view based on that. Okay, now how all three of them are tied together, let us look into that. Okay, so we will look into the main program. Let us say public class MVC. So we have considered a class where I will write the main method, that is public static void main. Then let's say string arguments, and here we will have a since we are having a subject class, so we will use a object of the subject. Okay, so this will be having a particular if we are using a student, so let's say, so we will use this particular object in order to object of the subject class in order to call a particular method, which is, let's say, retrieve course, or let's say retrieve subject. Okay, so we will, since we have used the term subject throughout, so let us use this retrieve subject. So this is a method here. Then we will also create a subject view object, which is new subject view, and then let us consider a controller, which is subject controller, and let's say controller is the object here, and we are also considering here as new subject controller, and it is a parameterized one because we are passing the values of model and view in this particular object. If you look into the controller, so here we are already passing the objects, which are the variables which are actually the objects of this each of this classes. Now what we will be doing, we will be calling the method which is the update UI. Okay, so we will simply use this object to call the method which is in the view, which is in the controller, that is controller dot update UI. So when it is when we are doing this particular method would be called. Okay, and what it will do, it will simply have one more method within it, which is display details, and it is under view. So controller is linked with the view here. And so here the next one is, we will simply use to define the method which is public static, then let's say subject retrieve subject. Okay, so what was it that we had? So we had retrieve subject, right? So we will use it as retrieve subject here. So in this particular method, what we will have subject course, or subject, let's say a small one only, subject, and is equal to new subject. So I am creating a object here. Okay, and then using this subject, what I'll try to do is, I will set the name as, let's say, Java. Okay, and then subject dot id, subject dot set id. So this will be, let's say, 005, and then let's say subject dot set category. This will be, let's say, engineering. Okay, so this is how basically we will be setting the subjects parameters, or the values which will be basically passed to the controller. Okay, so if you look into the main program, so the main program starts from here, and we will be first creating an object of each of this particular classes which are there, that is the view and controller. Okay, and we will call the method which is there in the view layer using the controller object. Okay, so once this view layer is up, the values are updated in the view layer, that means we will be able to display it to the user. Now when we are talking about this particular retrieve subject, so if we have to send it in the model, okay, if we have to call a particular method which will help us to store these values in the model, that means in the database, we will simply use to set all the values in the database using this particular method. Okay, so hence you will see that it is the view and the model, they are not connected directly. Instead, the model is basically connected to the controller. Okay, as well as the view is also connected to the controller. So controller will initially keep the values, so the values would be passed to the model in order to set it, and after that the model will be sending the values, or will be updating the view. Okay, so this is how basically it works. However, it will be much more clear when we will be doing this kind of model, view and controller in our subsequent sessions. In today's video, we just got an overview of how things work in a particular model, view and controller paradigm, or in this particular design pattern. Okay, so we will look into more of this in details in our subsequent sessions. Thank you.